All right, y'all, what's going on? It's Combo Breaker 99 back with another video. All right, y'all, back with some more flyweight talk. This time, let's focus on the PFL slash Bellator PFL Season 1. 2024 season is kicking off in a couple of weeks, right? April 4th, Thursday is going down. I know I've done a couple of lives, talking about the matchups, but this is kind of like the first look on one of the matchups that I feel like I've been ignoring, even though I've been talking about this particular fighter. I've been ignoring just the matchup because, we've been looking at the different fights and, have people want to know what I think about some of these other fights. But this is one that I want to talk about here because it's got two of my favorites. Talia Santos, y'all see she's matched up against none other than Dynamite Denise Kielholtz. All right. And, my first reaction was, okay, this is what it's going to be like if we got that UFC versus Bellator crossover, right? We got Talia Santos taking on Denise Kielholtz Thursday. Make sure y'all tune in to it. I think it's going to be a good card. There's a few other good flyweight fights as well. But this one here, man, I just think this fight right here just spells explosion. Talia Santos, she's ready to come back and get back into action. It's been a minute since her last fight now, since last summer, I believe. Yeah, back in August of last year, right? And you got Denise Kielholtz, who, just put on a good 2-fight win streak, looked good in her last 2 fights. And, she's ready to get back in action. She's been doing kickboxing and MMA, but, MMA is still something that she wants to shoot for. And, she's still making them moves. So, yeah, shout out to Denise Kielholtz. I'm a fan of her. And I like Santos as well. I think Santos, it was time for her to find a home where she can get some fights, because her whole deal was that they weren't giving her the fights, in a consistent manner like they were with some people. They weren't letting her be active like that. So they felt like when it was time to renew their contract, they didn't renew it, so they left the UFC. That's basically what happened. Like, she didn't get cut. They just didn't renew their contract. That's what it was, all right? But now that she's with PFL, this is one that I think a lot of people feel like, she has the ability to win. But it's going to start right here with Denise Kielholtz, because this fight's going to tell a lot. I know some people think Santos can just run up in there and maul and brawl and just beat Denise Kielholtz, but it's not going to be that easy. Because when I look at these two fighters, I think the things that hold them back, both of them, are just certain situations where they don't make the proper adjustments in a fight. And sometimes, like I like to say, is they make bad choices. Like, I seen Denise Kielholtz in certain situations against grapplers where, she leaves her neck open, or she just leaves herself open to be taken down by, some of these strong grapplers. Or you got Talia Santos, who's a fighter that likes to she likes to stand sometimes and bang a little bit, but she won't be first, or she won't do enough. Knowing she has that power, there's been times where Talia Santos just needs to use like a little bit of head movement, take her head off the line and stop trading, where I think she can get these stoppages more on her feet. Like, even with head kicks, she's very athletic. So they both have these things where it's like, okay, they're not letting enough go of what I think they are capable of, right? So when I look at Talia Santos going into a fight with Denise Kielholtz, I think that right off top, she definitely has the grappling experience over her, just pure grappling and ground game. But she also has that experience too as well. She's been in there with the former champ. She's been in there with Erin Blanchfield. She's been in there with some top level fighters. So physically, I think that, when it comes down to pure grappling and it's just like the physical fight on the inside clinch game, it would favor her. It would definitely favor Talia Santos in that type of fight. But looking at Talia Santos' resume, it's crazy now. We do rate her up there high, but she's on a back-to-back losing streak, and her last victory was almost 3 years ago, and that was against JoJo Calderwood. And before that, it was Roxy and Jillian Robertson. So it's been a while since she's had like a real confidence builder, like where she's won a fight against like a former champ, a former contender, because again, she came up short against Valentina, which some of us thought she won. Erin Blanchfield, she kind of let that fight go after the first round. It looked like her fight the first round, but then she just kind of let it go and didn't really have the game plan to adapt to Erin Blanchfield. So that plays with you too. I think that's going to be playing with Talia Santos too mentally. She's going to have to get back in there and find that confidence to say, this is what I do. This is what I was doing before, and she has to learn from those past fights. So I think Talia Santos in a fight with Denise Kielholtz, she needs to be able to use that Muay Thai that she has, like that Muay Thai experience. I like to see her go in there and, you know, jab with Kielholtz, find Kielholtz's timing, because I think Kielholtz is a little bit quicker and throws more combinations. I think, throwing that jab down the pipe like she did against JoJo, just fight off that jab till she finds those openings with those hard left hooks that Talia Santos throws is very important. Being first in the center of the cage, because Kielholtz don't really back up. So Kielholtz is going to be there as an open target. Kielholtz likes to trade and she likes to bang. So if Santos feels that she has that power, she needs to make sure her head is off the line and she lands first. So she needs to be first in that exchange in the center of the cage. But if it gets too hectic, you know where she can go. She can drop that level. But I think dropping her levels, she needs to be careful there, because she could eat a knee or a big head kick from Kielholtz. So it all has to be set up by, I think, leg kicks and just harder, straighter punches, using that timing. Get Kielholtz comfortable thinking you're going to trade with her, stay on the feet till Kielholtz keeps her feet planted. And when Kielholtz puts them feet down, that's when she goes in for those double legs and just takes over on the ground. Because on the ground, Santos, I feel like, her control would be too much for Kielholtz. Even the way she can snake around the back like she did to Valentina. I think Valentina's submission defense was just on point too, just top level. That's why she couldn't get her out of there. But for Kielholtz, I don't know if she'd be able to withstand and hold out that long when it comes down to those rear naked choke attempts for Talia Santos. So, I definitely see Talia Santos maybe thinking if it gets too thick on the feet, she has that plan B to go to, or that can be considered her plan A. That could be considered her plan A. It just comes down to how her timing looks on the feet. All right, but she's got to let her hands go. Santos, I think she sits back a little too much. Like if she don't hurt you right away, then, she'll just kind of stand there and pose a little bit. Like when she couldn't get Aaron Blanchfield out of there, she let Aaron Blanchfield get back to the fight. She worried a little bit about too much of the countering of Shevchenko. So to me, it's just really a thing about letting her hands go and taking her head off the line in the fight against, top level kickboxer like Kielholtz. Let's take a look at Kielholtz. So Kielholtz, she's been active. She's been active over the past couple of years now. In her last three fights, because Talia Santos, her last three fights, she was 1-2. Beating JoJo, then losing to Blanchfield and Shevchenko. Denise Kielholtz, she's 2-1 in her last couple fights. Lost a close fight with Ilaria Wani, which was one I thought she should have won. Then she came back and beat, two newcomers, two up-and-coming prospects here in Paula Christina and Tamiko Inaba, which I favored her to win those. She should be able to win those fights on the feet. But the Ilaria Wani fight was one she should have won too, man. Like, and that's what I'm talking about with Kielholtz. Sometimes, like, I think when she just gets caught up into that firefight on the feet, it leaves her open for takedowns. And if Ilaria Wani, is able to take her down and one-up her in certain situations, Santos will be able to. So I think for Denise Kielholtz, using that long jab is very important for her. Using that long jab, doubling up on Talia Santos if Talia's just straight up and down, firing off that right hand to the body of Talia, then going upstairs and just stepping side to side. Never staying in one spot and being a little bit lighter on her feet, but fighting more so on the outside, because even though Talia is taller and Kielholtz, she definitely, even though Talia Santos is taller, I think Denise Kielholtz has that long reach for her height. She's got that long reach for her height, so she needs to really fully extend those shots in this one and, work those leg kicks and combinations to just move side to side. When this fight gets in the center of the cage, I think she can control it with those explosions. She just has to keep moving around and keeping Talia Santos guessing. Talia Santos, again, like when she's sitting back waiting, that's when she pops those shots off. But to me, I don't think this is one Kielholtz needs to even play with on the ground. Of course, if, they come into the clinch, I want to see her return, the tie clinch and land these to the body and just kind of throw Santos off. So explosive strength is something that Kielholtz is going to need in this fight that kind of surprises Santos, just to get her off and get back to the center and keep it moving. But yeah, Kielholtz, she ain't want to really go in there and just like play games with. She's looking for a finish. So Santos, she's got to be careful of that, because I could see this being a fight where Santos could get clipped and put down, maybe not put out, but Santos could feel like, I need to be on the back foot. She might get a little cautious, get a little gun shy if she gets caught with some shots, So that's something that Santos got to look out for, just that overall stand-up game here. But when it comes down to it, I look at experience and what they've learned from their fights, and I think Santos had a chance to, fight at a higher level, and she's learned from those fights. And her last couple fights, they were close losses. Like Blanchfield, I think Blanchfield clearly won, but it wasn't like she was just dominated on the ground or completely dominated on the feet. It just came down to Erin making the better choice in the fight and taking it on home with what she had. It wasn't like she outstruck Talia Santos to the point like, oh man, this girl's outboxing her, or she grappled her to death like she did Miranda Maverick or something like that. Like, no, like that was still a fight she can learn from and come back from. Same with the Shevchenko fight, so whatever experience she has, it'll carry over into this fight. And I think that early look, I think Santos should be able to win this fight. As long as she don't let Kielholtz get into a rhythm and start piecing her up from the outside, she could get this fight because she'll take it to the ground. If she can get it to the ground, it'll be her fight. But with the way Dynamite's Kielholtz lets some hands go, if she clips Santos, it could go her way. I think I honestly think that with the way Santos has been looking over the past couple fights, though, Kielholtz definitely has a chance to expose some holes here and get this victory. All right. So to me, I give Santos the edge right now, but Kielholtz ain't no slouch. All right. This ain't no 80-20 type of fight. It's close to being a 50-50 fight just because of the way, Santos has been in the past couple fights and the way Kielholtz attacks, like that explosion, Santos can be hit. So to me, I think it really is close to being like, what, 51-49, 58, what we say, 58-42? Yeah, that's about right? 58-42 could be that type of fight in favor of Santos. But we'll see, y'all. I'm definitely tuning into this fight. What do y'all think? Like I said, this is just my first look over here for this one. Will I give y'all a full-on prediction a little bit later? Probably. But right now I am leaning towards Santos to get this victory just by a margin. Does it go the distance, though? I could see it going the distance. I could really see it going the distance because both of these girls are pretty durable and they are tough like that. But let me know what y'all think, guys. Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.